In the first part of this interview, first-time feature film director Chai Yee-Wei told us why his film Blood Ties is not a horror film, but a supernatural thriller. And in this second part, the Singaporean filmmaker reveals the origins of Blood Ties. Okay, let's talk about the origins of Blood Ties. Blood Ties, now we're actually talking about Blood Ties, the feature film, but Blood Ties is actually a short film, right?
We did a short film version
back in
2005.
Wow, that long ago.
Was it 2005? Wait, let me think.
I know
2006.
I know in
2006 or 2007. I don't remember.
I know in 2007. By 2007, Blood Ties already had won a couple of awards.
Then probably it's 2007 now.
Probably shorter in 2006, and then
yeah,
yeah.
That was released in 2007. Lost track of time.
How different is a short film from the feature film?
Actually, it started with a concept.
Okay.
And based on the concept, I have a bigger story in mind first before I did the short film.
Okay.
So when I was given the opportunity to take part in this Panasonic MDA Digital Film Fiesta, I thought, hey, why don't I write a subplot? Okay, an independent short story to introduce the premise, which can stand independent from the bigger story.
Okay.
So the short film is actually from a bigger story.
Okay.
But after the short film got some interest from a few producers, and finally Oaktree said, hey, let's do it. That's where we say, okay, let me fall back to the bigger story, and then we started redeveloping the bigger story.
Okay, so basically Blood Ties feature was already a big film to begin with.
Yes.
So it wasn't
I did a
it wasn't an extended short film.
It was a subplot that I created to introduce the story.
Specifically for the short film?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. So when did you start writing?
The feature film.
The short film?
The short film was written that year itself.
Okay.
The year that I shot it. Then it was released, I think, early 2007.
When you made a short film, was that the end goal to make a feature? Some people make short films just for short film's sake. Mm-hmm. Short form, the story is short form, the film is short form, I'm going to write it short form. Was that always the end goal in mind, to make a feature?
That was one of my thoughts. I wanted to use the short film to test the strength of the idea.
Okay.
And I said, okay, if this idea can be converted into a feature, there's hope that people, if someone says, I can pick it up, then it lends credence to the idea. So for me, I'm using that as a litmus test.
Is that a natural progression for a filmmaker to make a feature film in Singapore? So if I want to make a feature, I want to prove that my idea can stand, so I make a short film first and I pitch it.
I don't think so.
No.
I think that if you have a body of short films, it does not have to directly relate to an idea that you're pitching.
Okay.
But the short films will showcase your capabilities as a director, as a storyteller. If they look at this and say, oh, this guy is a good storyteller, and he has a feature script that is compelling, looking at his short film, I trust that he can translate this into a big one. Okay. You need that short films as a reference, as a point of reference. It's like a portfolio. It's like a reference. You need the short films to showcase your capabilities. As for the feature film, shortly after that we started developing the story, and we rewrote many times. We had 2 other writers attached to it before me, because I didn't want to write it. I felt that maybe I should take a step away from the project to have a third person write it, and I direct it. We wrote 4 movies, 2 of which were written by 2 other writers. Mm-hmm. Then the third one I wrote again, and then they were all not good enough.
Okay.
Then finally I threw everything out again and rewrote. And when we rewrote, this is not like drafts, We throw away the characters and we recreate the new characters.
So you didn't even take from these other 4 films?
For instance, in the short film, initially I actually had the idea of the wife betraying the husband, and then causing the husband to die as well. But right now, the feature film, we thought and came up with the idea of, you know what, why not have the wife die as well? Okay. So there's more impact for the main character to come back and seek revenge.
From a short film to a feature film, in the next part of the interview, Yee-Wei tells us what was the inspiration behind Blood Ties. Was it something supernatural? Tune in to find out.